Welcome to Movie Screen, the home of movie news and entertainment. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for all the latest industry film information.
Apple are having serious problems with its latest film release of the horrendous Argylle. With the film currently at 35 million worldwide, this goes into the Hall of Shame with The Flash and The Marvels. Napoleon, starring Ridley Scott, and Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese, marked the tech giant's grand entrance into the theater industry last year, yet neither film was a box office hit. Argylle, this week's new action comedy from director Matthew Vaughn, is by far the most popular movie of Apple's 3 theatrical releases, making things seem even worse for the tech company. In its first weekend, the film brought in an embarrassing $18 million from domestic theaters and an additional $17 million from 78 international countries, for a meager $35 million total for its global premiere. In contrast, a few weeks earlier, The Beekeeper, an action thriller, made a greater global premiere. The fact that Argylle is reportedly spending between $200 million and $250 million, which is comparable to the budgets for Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon, only serves to heighten concerns. Argylle is getting destroyed by critics and moviegoers worldwide. And rightly so, the story is weak and very shallow, sprinkled with big stars to save the day. Nope, that's not going to work. A bad story is a bad story. The marketing was mainly led by Henry Cavill, conning audiences to watch the movie just to find out he's barely in it. The likes of talented Sam Rockwell and Jackson couldn't even carry the burden of this horrible film. Matthew Vaughn hasn't done himself justice with this production. It's a huge fall from his previous greats like Layer Cake, Kick-Ass, and The Kingsman. The story for the film seemed disjointed and predictable. The performances were average with only a few funny scenes. The only good thing about Argylle was the trailer, which was extremely well put together and served as perfect bait to get audiences into the theaters to see the movie. We feel robbed. Any talks of a trilogy coming should be scrapped. We can't understand how The Kingsman did so well and they made such a mess of Argylle. It was also really cheap to use the cat as additional bait for the audience. This also failed badly, and those CGI effects were beyond bad. The cat looked like a cartoon character. With Argylle, Vaughn hoped to expand his career after successfully rebooting the X-Men property with X-Men First Class and launching the Kingsman series for 20th Century Studios. The film, which stars Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Henry Cavill, centers on a spy writer who finds that the storyline of her newest book parallels actual events. Not exactly great reviews have been given to the film, which now has a rotten 35% score on review aggregate Rotten Tomatoes and a dismal C+ cinema score from opening day viewers. It goes to show that an all-star cast can't save a bad story. We suggest they move this movie out of theaters as soon as possible and dump it on Apple TV streaming. In actuality, Vaughn isn't the best storyteller, but he is a talented visionary of insane mayhem. He took Mark Millar comics and envisioned them with such vicious gonzo panache in his best films, Kingsman, The Secret Service, and Kick-Ass, that we couldn't help but care about the characters' outcomes. Here, the tale is too shallow for us to care about, even with all the crazy plot points and the constant barrage of appearances from performers who obviously made a lot of money for what seems like a day's work, including Sophia Boutella, Samuel L. Jackson, and Richard E. Grant. In the end, what's left is a violently extreme movie that is at times engrossing and tiresome. We suggest you wait for this movie to go to streaming and save your money. For those of you that paid to watch it in theaters, unlucky you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.